Pat and Joey here for RetrowareTV.com, finishing up the final day of E3. We saw a lot of cool stuff, both modern and retro. So what was one of the highlights that you thought of day 3?
Well, we got a chance to finally play with some Kinect. Again, it's an interesting idea that's finding more ground to stand on, so to speak, in the realm of games. Kinect Sports second season is coming out, which is interesting.
And you tried that out?
I did. I played some of the
football action.
Yeah, maybe I'm just not used to it. I don't know. I had a little bit of.
You never played football as a kid.
I don't play football. What's a football?
You're allergic to
football.
You're allergic to sports. We also might have done a little dancing,
Dance Central 2. I found the original Dance Central to be the most fun Kinect game I'd played to date. A great game.
Yeah.
It grabs your emotions really well.
Yes, it really maps out exactly what you're doing. There's even a part where you kind of break down and do your own sort of dance routine, and then it actually shows you on screen. So it really is a lot more technical than obviously Nintendo Wii, and the Just Dance on Nintendo Wii, while fun, does not really map you out well because it's only really looking at your one arm.
It's only looking at your Wii, so...
Moving away from dancing a little bit, we also saw the Kinect demonstrated for the upcoming Tom Clancy Ghost Recon Future Soldier.
Yes. Which is pretty interesting, the way it showed the guy and how he was able to switch weapons, reaching behind him, flipping the sight up.
He was firing by doing that, that was firing.
Yeah.
And it was working well.
It actually was. I was surprised. Because when the Kinect came out and Microsoft was saying, yeah, you can even have shooters and stuff, you're thinking...
People were like, what?
Yeah, with your hands. Kevin Butler with that Sony commercial, you're going to use your hands? Pew, pew, pew.
Yeah,
That's like a baby's toy.
Who's laughing now? But anyway, so that looked pretty promising to me.
I wasn't going to go there. Speaking of Sony, the PS Vita.
PS Vita, the new handheld.
Unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to play it.
Line was always backed up.
It was ridiculous, this line.
Yeah.
But that just goes to show it's a very hot item at this E3. It's got the touch screen, or the touch pad on the back, so forth, and also touchscreen on the front. Really great graphics. A whole host of gadgets and gizmos aplenty.
Yeah, probably the camera on board, all that.
What's its galore.
What impressed me, at least, it looks like the dual analogs look somewhat closer to what's actually on the controller. The analog on the old PSPs are terrible. They kind of just slide around. This looks very, very solid. It looks to be a solid piece of machinery, at least from the outset.
And like we said, we could tell it's a very popular piece of machinery. So that's something to keep your eye on coming out soon. Maybe it'll be Sony's big break back into away from the we're sorry.
Yes,
sorry.
We shall see. We'll give Sony kudos where it's due.
Yeah, good piece of machinery, very great graphics.
Look out for it,
as always. I also got a chance to see and play Sonic Generations on the Xbox, PS3, and 3DS, which is pretty interesting on all three. I had some mixed feelings about it. In case you haven't heard of it, it mixes the 2D and 3D Sonic into kind of two different games, all in one. The 2D Sonic plays a lot like the original Sonic the Hedgehog, the original games, kind of like how Sonic the Hedgehog 4 just recently brought that back. The 3D version plays like the 3D version, kind of more...
Best of both?
It kind of is the best of both, I would say it is. Unfortunately, I don't like 3D Sonic. It feels too on rails to me. I go into that in a little bit more detail in another video, but the 2D part was amazing, or really good. I won't say amazing, it's Sonic. It's classic Sonic, it's fun. They redid the Green Hill Zone.
If you like Sonic the Hedgehog, you should enjoy the Sonic Generations.
You'll enjoy at least part of it if you like one version. If you like both, then this is definitely your game.
If you don't like either, go kick rocks. I don't know what to tell you. I checked out a game that I wasn't expecting to even pay attention to, but when I've heard about Elder Scrolls V Skyrim.
Yeah.
And Skyrim, I guess, is the northern mountainous region of this Elder Scrolls world. So it was a 20 to 25 minute actual playthrough, and the game looks gorgeous. I'm not sure how the other ones look in comparison, but we're talking like...
They were also great when they came out.
We're talking about detail of every little blade of grass, every little tree is detailed. They said, hey, this is how we do our game. So no complaints there. It looked beautiful. Interesting was the system of combat. You use triggers for both arms to attack, and you can arm yourself either by having two swords, a sword and a shield, a huge battle axe, or you can use magic on one or both hands. It's not jazz hands, magic hands. So, and that will, depending on if you have one or two different magic hands, we'll just say, you can conjure up different types of spells. So you can put two together or just use one or the other. So it really gives you a lot of variety of gameplay as you go through. As you're fighting different enemies, you can switch off to say, okay, this guy I'm going to do magic and a sword, or just a sword and a shield, or say a bow and arrow.
Magic Hands was my nickname in college. How'd you know?
And they did show off a couple of dragon fights. There was one, fiery dragon and an ice dragon, and it was really intense. You even had NPCs, or non-playable characters, coming out and actually fighting the dragon with you. So it looks really intense. Huge game. Basically anything you see on the map, you can go up there. If you see a mountain in the distance, you can walk up that mountain if you so choose to. I am actually interested in checking this out. Not saying I'm going to purchase it, but...
Grand Theft Auto Scrolls.
Yes.
What system is it for?
It's going to be on the PS3, the PC, and 360.
All right. So
and who knows, maybe the Wii U.
So overall, what do you think of this E3 and what we've seen here?
Well, this is our first E3 for
yes.
both of us. And I've been to huge conventions. I've been to Comic-Con. Comic-Con is about 5 times the size of this, no joke. Mm-hmm. This is still impressive, though. I mean, it was laid out well. It was easy to get to things. And we saw basically almost everything besides the PS Vita, what we wanted to see.
Yeah.
We saw everything.
But
in terms of thoughts about what we actually like the best,
yeah.
I'm going to go with the front runner. I'm going to say the Wii U impressed me the most.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot it's going to have to offer in the future. The fact that the graphics are going to be as good as the PS3, if not better than that, and the 360 is going to really help them out. And developers are on board right now. Yes. They're on board, and they're going to be on board once the system's released next year.
I've said previously that I feel this is the next, natural evolution from the Wii. And like you were saying, I feel the same way as I did when I first heard about the Kinect. I think it's a very interesting piece of technology. I'm curious to see where it goes. Just give it a little bit more time for the developers to really get a handle and think about what they want to do with it. Next year was going to be very interesting once we get a better handle on what kind of games will be out. I mean, we have some hints. Smash Brothers will be in some form.
We know Aliens, Clone and Marines will be on the system.
A few others, Assassin's Creed, Metal Gear Solid, some heavy hitters.
Ninja Gaiden 3.
Exactly. So this is going to be very interesting to see, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, they're correcting the online, which we knew was terrible on the Wii.
The online and the HD were the two biggest problems.
And the graphics are going to be upgraded. And after that, I mean, what really was wrong with the Wii in terms of third-party developers not being on board, but now they are?
Pretty much. I mean, that was about it. I mean, it won the last generation in terms of sales, so they were doing something right. Okay, so if we're going to hand out a Retroware TV
ribbon of Best of Show,
Best of Show, Best of E3, Retro. I'm going to go with Sonic Generations. Like I said, the 3D aspect didn't grab me at all. It seems like the same 3D Sonic we've seen since Sonic Adventure, which I don't really go for. But the 2D is very nice. What they showed off here was a Green Hill Zone. In this HD and new graphics and fancy schmancy, and it was so much fun to go back and feel that same kind of feeling. And like I said before with Sonic the Hedgehog 4, bringing back that old retro Sonic, I think at the very least Sega's flatlining. They're not going back down the bad slope with Sonic. So I had the most fun playing that as in terms of retro games.
I don't agree that it's totally retro, but
it's at least half retro.
So Pat's Best of Show for Retro Game E3 2011, wow, that's long. Probably Automedia's Excellent. It's got to be up there.
I'm shocked.
Well, it was a 2D shooter with very bright graphics, very fun, fast, very little slowdown, and there are anime babes in there. And so it's a spin-off of Parodius, that it doesn't take itself too seriously. And I actually enjoyed playing it a lot. It had a pretty cool system of how to choosing your power-ups, when to engage them, and you have these super anime attacks where you get like a cool animation, and then everything explodes on the screen. So I enjoyed that.
I
also enjoyed Galaga Legion's DX.
So that was a very interesting take on Galaga. That would probably be my second favorite retro game of the show.
Very bright sprites on that. You're using a dual analog to move, so one to move, one to shoot, which has really been the theme of a lot of these games that are coming back.
It offered a lot of really interesting control differences from the original Galaga while still keeping that same kind of feel. You had the Galagas and you had the little flies and you had the other kind of bugs.
The only issue I have with the Galaga Legions DX is that it's a time game, which is like Pac-Man Championship, which I guess that's a new thing, is that you play for time, leaderboards. I like the old school feel of just leveling it out and keep going, and eventually get so tough you have to quit.
While we're talking about Best of E3, I would have to ask you who had the best booth babes.
We're gonna have to go with Nintendo. I was very impressed with the team they had. You can tell they put a lot of effort into recruiting this year, and
by a country mile.
By a country mile, Nintendo booth babes represented very well. Not to say there weren't other nice ones, but it was quite a team.
So now you know the real reason why we really like the Wii U, and spend a lot of time there.
We're easy sellouts. Yes.
So speaking of selling out,
we're gonna sign off. Joey, Pat, Retroware TV at E3 2011. Hopefully, we'll see you next year.
Yeah, and thanks to Lance, who couldn't be here for day 3, but he was also helping out the whole time with us. It was great fun. So hopefully we can do it again, like I said, next year. So thanks, guys.